Hello, this is Wmpyr. All right, I just saw a video on YouTube about this guy. He's a martial arts instructor. He was talking about the difference between sport and street. Okay, and there are some things that he said that I agree with. Overall, I think I disagree with him. And yeah, I just, this for me is kind of a mental exercise, and I'm going to do my best to try to explain to you guys what I think, share my 2 cents. So, first of all, what this guy said, in a way, was refreshing. So, this kind of some of the stuff that I agree with. So, um, he said, first of all, that there is a difference between sport and street, and that difference really has to do with, in a sports situation, you pretty much know what's up, other than the result, of course. Um, they they are trying to limit the unpredictable stuff as much as possible in a sporting environment, right? Because it is a controlled environment. So it's not like they have like a random chair in the middle of the ring or the cage. You know pretty much exactly who you are going to be facing, right? Um, and you know when, where, all of that is very clear. But in the street, there's just lots of stuff that we have no idea what's up. In fact, in the street, we don't even know if it's really going to turn into a physical altercation. It might just be verbal and that's it. So it's just a lot more unpredictable in the street, right? And that's what makes it dangerous. But as far as like sport wise, the level of opponent that you're going to be facing is supposed to be the level that you're at. So it's going to be competitive. It's going to be tough. Um, all right, but so this person said all this, and there's nothing new here. Everyone's pretty much said this kind of stuff. In the street, there could be weapons. There could be multiple attackers. Um, the ground is hard. It's not a mat. There could be rocks, broken glass, things like that, right? So we all know this. This is obvious. It's been beaten to a dead, on a dead horse over and over again. But what this person did say was basically that sport and street is the same. So if you're training in a sports style, and as long as you keep those things in mind, what we just said earlier, that it is different, as long as you understand that, you'll be fine. So he pretty much simplified it and basically said street equals sport, or sport equals street. So that, in a way, that's refreshing. And okay, so part of that I agree with, and part of that I disagree with. So the part that I agree with is a fight is a fight is a fight. No matter weapons, no matter multiple attackers, human beings fighting, and I would even go as far as to say human versus animal, it would still be the same. The way that we move, the way that we fight back is the same. So if you have fighting skills, it's going to help, period. Period. Okay? So in that sense, I agree with this person. I don't care if it's in outer space. I don't care if it's in a ring or in a cage or it's in a dark alley. If I'm fighting, I'm fighting. The way that I move, the techniques that I'm using, I'm fighting. All right? That don't change. So in that sense, I agree. What I disagree with completely is that, to me, in the street, We have to understand that what the enemy is doing is they're not fighting me. I might be fighting them because it's natural. You know, when a human being retaliates, they fight back, right? Literally, the word is fight back. So you fight. Okay, but what they're doing is not fighting. If I'm being attacked on the street, chances are, I would say a pretty high percentage, is that it's an ambush. This is an assault. They laid a trap, it's a setup. So they could have done it verbally, or they could have done it physically, like I'm trapped into a corner, I'm trapped between two cars, I'm in a dark alley where it's a dead end, you know, that kind of thing. Or they could have done both, verbally and physically trap me, which is worse, right? That's way worse, to be verbally and physically trap me. The trap that is not so intricate is just a verbal trap, you know. Oh, excuse me, you know, they come up to me like that, and hey, you know, I'm looking for this business venture, wondering if you're interested too. You know, so they could start off with some kind of slimy, schemy thing like that, where I know something's up, but I'm a normal human being, so I don't immediately attack them from there. I'm listening, going, how do I get out of this? So that's already, I'm being set up. So that's a verbal setup. Not a very good one, but it's a verbal setup, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that that's the difference between sport and street, is that you're going to be set up. You're going to be put in a trap. If you find yourself where there's possibly an altercation, there's a possibility of this could turn bad, a physical assault or whatever, that means you've been set up. You fell into a trap somehow. You messed up already. You screwed up. Whether you went to the wrong side of town, or you should have been more aware, or you should have been more aggressive walking away, or going to the other side, or whatever it was, you're now in this trap. Okay? So that's what I want to say. That's the main difference. So how do you defend against that? Well, you have to defend against it. like I just said, it becomes self-defense. It's not, fighting is not the best answer. Okay, I mean, you can try, but it's not the best answer, because if they set up this trap, then the chances of them planning for your attack, for you to attack back, to fight back, is already calculated. It's already in there. At the very least, they're ready for it. Physically, they're bracing themselves. They go, let's see if this guy has the balls to punch me back. Now, I got this guy right where I want, but let's see. Is he going to shove me? Is he going to get brave? Is he going to slap me? What is he going to do? You know, so they're already like in that kind of mentality. At the least, I just dare him to touch me. Dare him to lay his hands on me. You know, I'm setting the trap here. You touch me, I'm going to mess you up. That's a trap. Okay, that's a setup. I'm setting you up right there. You know, you don't have that setup, so it's difficult for you to just explode on me. And especially, once again, you're a normal human being. You have normal brain waves, you know. So how do you go from that to just all of a sudden killer? Whereas this person is creating opportunities for them to do it to you. So defense, and by defense I mean self-defense, which means survival, not fighting, not dominating, and not terminating. Because if you train in a sports style, that's your goal, is to dominate and terminate. That's how you win in sports. You don't win by showing masterclass defense. Masterclass defense can create opportunities for you to win, to dominate and terminate. But if not, if you just do masterclass defense, you cannot win that way. Sports is rigged that way, because if not, there's going to be extremely boring fights. And boring fights don't sell tickets. People want action. So if you're really, really good at neutralizing the opponent, that is a valid skill. In sport, that may not help you that much because the sport is designed to go against that. Okay, sport is a controlled, fabricated environment that we created. We made this up with rules and everything, designed to do a specific thing, to showcase a certain type of skill. That skill is an aggressive skill. That's what we're looking for in a sport environment. In a street, where self-defense is concerned, it's about survival. Therefore, this is not needed. Domination, termination is not needed. Fighting skills can prove extremely valuable in the street, period. It's very natural. It can happen. So that I agree with what the guy said. But how much domination, termination skills do we need? And that's where I'm saying that's another difference right there. We don't need a tremendous amount of domination, termination. Do I really need to be able to, counter some pretty advanced techniques in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? No, I don't need it. If I was competing at a higher level in sport, I need it, without a doubt. They're going to be doing stuff like that to me, But in the street, I may not even need a gi choke defense. But in sport jiu-jitsu, I cannot imagine not knowing how to defend yourself against the gi choke. It's absolutely necessary. Even in your day-to-day sparring, you will absolutely need it. Now, in the street, the chances of you needing that is very, very low. Even if the guy knows how to do it, he may not go for it just because the outfit is completely different on the street, Unless I'm wearing a jacket, it's cold, and then they are trained in BJJ or judo, and they decide to do that for some reason, then, but those are like three things going against, each reason. So I gave three reasons that they may not do it, but they have to say, no, yes, I am going to do that, And so three times they have to combat that and go, yes, I will do a gi choke. So, domination, termination, not necessary. The most important thing, if you can do it, great. But in fact, there might even be situations where if you do it, it could get you in trouble. Because in the street, letting them save face, letting them actually escape goes a long way. If you didn't let them escape and you corner them, they're the bad guys, sure. But if you corner them, now you gave them a reason to fight for their life. It's like cornering an opossum. If you've ever seen a caged opossum, you know how vicious those guys can be. But normally, they look sweet, But at that point, they're fighting for their life. So that's what you just did to this guy. That was trying to set you up with something, trying to trick you and take advantage of you. And now you put it into a situation where it's beyond that. They were just trying to make their living, which is messed up, but they were trying to do that. And now maybe you've taken it to the next level where they know they cannot go back to prison. So now it's do or die. Okay, so you just up the stakes for them. So, there are things like that you need to think about. So in that sense, yes, sports skills, very, very valuable to help you fight. But what kind of fighting are we doing? Not to fight to dominate and terminate, but to fight out, to fight and run, to fight your way out of this mess. Okay. So those are the main things that I would like to point out. So in that case, survival, yes, is the most important thing. All right. So I hope this was pretty easy to understand. That's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.